Alrighty, so just looking at this picture up here, there's quite a few 2600s on these, but there's also quite a few other products. So this is just meant to be representative of how competitive the gaming market had become, and hence what kind of a
not all those were Atari.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of competition.
But that was
Atari.
also its downfall.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All that competition.
Well, no, what happened is well, I don't know if we were getting to that in the slides because I don't remember
Now's the
when.
time. Yeah.
But the problem is everybody wanted to be in this business because there were so many VCSs out there. So they were, the joke was you could put a dot on the screen and sell it for $29, and some people just about did that. There was some real crap cartridges coming out, and when you can't really take them back to the store and they're costing you between $29 and $49, and I think some of them were even more expensive than that, and it's junk, you stop buying them.
Well, interesting thing, in the process of publicizing this event, I got an email from Courtney Heater, who worked for Rumcorp.
J. Courtney Heater
Yeah,
III.
he with Dave Rum developed a demo system for in the stores so that you could actually, I think what they do is they would download the ROM into RAM, and there was a Z80 based system that would actually be able to, at the push of a button, switch from one game to another. So you had so many games out there. How would you know which ones to buy and which ones were not any good? So people, as consumers, could very quickly test games just at the flick of a button. So
But not all of them.
But not all of them. Could probably only maybe 16 at a time or something like that in one of the demos.
There was some real stinkers, is the problem.
Yeah.
But this is the
It
system.
doesn't like-
Okay, this is the system, and Atari that brought consumer electronics and software to Silicon Valley. So this,
Right.
you can look at not only the companies like Apple, but you can look at all the content companies, consumer content companies. It all came out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I actually think that Atari committed suicide. I don't think it was homicide. and the story goes that it was because of bad software. I disagree.
I disagree.
I think that it was that Atari tried to put another 10 million VCSs into a saturated market.
This is Warner's Atari.
Warner's
Ray
Atari.
Sauer- Yeah. They had to, because they had to pay Spielberg, how many million? 10, 12 million?
Yeah, I mean,
So they knew they had to build 10 million of them to get the royalties. The fact the game didn't work didn't bother Ray or any of those guys. So they forced them out there.
but there's another little
Yeah.
codicil to this story. The codicil was that when we had, I thought before I left that we needed to immediately start working on the VCS2, which
Yeah.
Warner didn't even want to hear
No, they don't
about
want to hear
all
about
that.
No.
But I went to General Instruments, TI, and essentially said, would you design the Atari, the next version of the Atari? My objective was to tie up every MOS capability that we had.
Right.
And it was sort of match racing a little bit. And what happened is, after I left, Ray, I guess, was looking at the progress payments, and it was like $25,000 a year. It was nothing to be a blocker. And Ray said, "Oh, we got to cancel these. We're not going to be doing all that." And so all of a sudden, the TI chip was free.
Right.
The General Instruments chip. And so with that one move,
Jesus.
they created the Mattel competition. They created the TI, the Bally competition.
Oh, everybody, yeah.
Everybody. These were chips that we had being designed for us as a blocking maneuver to keep the MOS technology. I mean, the end channel, which I think we figured there was only 7 capabilities at the time.
Yeah. I remember going to General Instruments trying to do that. Yeah, and it was funny because they weren't very good at designing video games because they had a foundry right in the backyard. So they'd make a little progress and they'd prototype the chip, and that would take like 6 weeks, and there'd be a bug, and they'd go do this again and again, and it took months. When we did it, we had to work the first time, or we were out of business as a company. So we were very careful.
But that decision all of a sudden allowed, in one season, a whole bunch of competition. And Atari was so bad that they decided that they had to hurry up and repurpose the Atari computer, basically the
Yeah.
400, into a game machine. And it wasn't designed to be a game machine.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Well, there was also competition between the two divisions,
Yeah.
between the
Oh, yeah.
computer division and the consumer division, and the competition, they were designed so that the software cartridges could not be interchangeable because you couldn't keep track of which salesman was going to get the credit for the sale.
I
So-
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
That was some good stuff.
Oh, wow.
I could tell you stories.
Don't piss on my lawn.
But